this session that we're going to go through, of course, this has, I'll tell you about what is going to be journey and stuff like that. But this session is all about your willingness to experiment with yourself. Now, some of you may have ideas and some of you may not have ideas. All right, that's okay. The whole thought behind this program is that can you go ahead and learn practically and start incorporating them in your real life. The idea is not to do a knowledge-heavy session, but do a session with a whole lot of examples so that you can see some kind of linkages there and be able to move forward. Okay? So, Chandan, have you blocked the annotation or is it still there?
I am just trying. It is taking some technical error. I'll just do it.
Yeah. And in the meanwhile, guys, you can keep your fingers away from all the experiments that you.
Himanshu, could you please stop doing it? Otherwise, I have to remove you guys. And if I remove, you will not be able to join this. Thank you.
So, Chandan and I, we both take the pride of saying that we were very active backbenchers in life. So we really know how our mind works. Okay. And while of course there are a lot of bright students, and of course all of you are extremely bright students. That's the reason why you are there in the institutions of national reputation that you are in. All right, but we can all think the same way when we talk about the backbenchers. Okay, let's get on with this. Okay, so starting on the right foot, is important. And when we say starting on the right foot is important, what usually people end up saying is that, is there a problem worth solving? Okay. Now, how many of, I don't want to do a polling right now, but I'm sure you will agree to this, that this is one of the most common, questions which does not come to your mind, all right? But it comes to the minds of all the other advisors in this world who keep on telling that, what is the problem that you're solving? You go to Shark Tank, they will ask, what is the problem that you're solving? The problem is, how do we find a problem worth solving? Because in our real life, in most cases, I'm not saying all cases, in most cases, it is that eureka moment wherein we say, wow, I've got a light bulb moment and, a fantastic idea that we have. Okay. So that's a common way of looking at things. You always don't come across a problem worth solving. That is not what hits your eye. What hits your eye is an opportunity. Yeah. Starting from as simple as my mother makes awesome pizzas, and therefore I can possibly create a pizza chain which will go ahead and take over Domino's and Pizza Hut and God knows which ones. Yeah. Or my dad makes amazing burgers. All right, I could go ahead and beat McDonald's. Okay, or my, whatever, 1,001 different examples that I'm talking about. Okay? So the question is that how do you find the problem worth solving? And the underlying question is it really a problem that you see, or do you see something else? Okay, so we will tackle that and a couple of more things during the session. All right, but while that is happening, and that is what people say that, do you have an idea, problem worth solving, and so on and so forth. Okay, I'll show you a small video, and I'm sure if you already have an idea that you're working on, these are the questions which probably struck you first when you started with the idea. Or even if you don't have an idea right now, or don't have a venture to work upon, these are the kind of questions which will always baffle you. Okay, see the video.
Paco, you need to share your screen audio because the audio is not coming out. Maybe you need to unshare and share again.
I'll Unshare and share will not work, I think. I'll do that, but it will not work. What works is share sound. Okay.
Yes, Beckham.
So and we put up these questions because these questions, are something which has been there in my mind as well. Okay. Whenever I have tried to run an enterprise or think about a new enterprise, the question which is always there is that, is my idea good enough? We may not talk about it openly, but the question always is that, is my idea good enough? Will I have enough customers who will buy my product? I may not still talk about it, but it is always there in my mind. Will I have enough customers who will buy? Will I make enough money? Because I have dreams, I have aspirations, okay? And the question is, how do I get started? Okay. Chandan, if you can kindly switch off the annotation, because what happens is a lot of people don't do it intentionally, but they might be viewing it on their phones, and when they do it on their phones and they try to do swipe here and there, all right, while surfing on multiple sites, it tends to leave a mark.
Sure. Back up. Yeah.
But you do that because I think you have disable annotation for others, okay, which I've also pressed. Yeah. Can anyone try to annotate so that we can check whether it's working or not?
Hello. Yeah, it's gone right now.
Yeah, it's removed. Wow. All right. We are the problem solvers. We're entrepreneurs. We will always get it. Okay. All right. So, and the question is, how do I get started? So what happens, we've got this great idea that we're going to do. I can wonder, where do we need to start from? Is it that we need to build the product first? Do we need to figure out from the customers what they want? Do I need to ask my seniors? Do I need to ask my mentors? Do I need to ask my parents? Do I need to discuss it with my professors? Do I need to, do I need to go to Google and try to find out, is ChatGPT going to help me build the venture? Okay, the question is always is, how do I get started? All right. So, and it is not that complicated, but at the same time, and not that there is a process to it, okay? Mark Zuckerberg didn't follow a process to build something. Neither did I have a process, all right, by which I went ahead and said that, okay, this is how we're going to. Yeah, Chandan?
Sorry.
Yeah. All right. So how do I get started? This is important. Of course, all other questions are important, and these questions are they are so important that they actually guide, all right, the entire journey as to how are we going to go about the entire process of, entrepreneurship. So we're going to look into that, and the 4 sessions that you're going to go through, plus you will have pitch sessions, plus you'll have mentoring sessions. All of those will help you answer these questions so that you build your conviction that this is how you're going to run. Okay. Now, by now, you have already received these 4 statements. Okay. And you were asked to go ahead and choose one of them as your practice project venture. Okay. Now, the question is, before you get into, before I get into all of this, first of all, let me tell you, why are these project ventures required? Because if I were in your place, I would say, hey, I've got my own venture. Why will I not use that as an example to go ahead and put all the learnings into practice? Why do I need to go ahead and, pick up these 4 fictitious, project ventures? And that is where my point is. My point is that, see, when you have your own venture and when you use that venture to, run it along a program like this, let's be honest. We somewhere or the other, we already have fallen into love. We've fallen in love with our venture that we're running. Okay. Well, of course, the world says that, fall in love with the problem, not with the solution. But somewhere or the other, let's be very honest, we do that. And when that happens, if I tell you to do something which might be against the thoughts that you have in your mind, what you will do is you will start defending it. So rather than learning from it and applying it out here, all right, you will start defending it. And that will be good for your project, you will defend it, but it will not be great for you to pick up the skills which are required for you to be successful. Now, I know that you may have a different take to this, but with the little amount of, exposure of having created roughly about 6,000, helped create about 6,000 odd ventures, I know that it will actually benefit you if you pick up this. So what will happen is you will use these project ventures which are there to apply your learning, okay? But whatever happens, not just on your project venture, but whatever you hear from others in terms of what they have done, not done with the same thoughts or with the same project ventures or with something else, that will actually help you incorporate all of those into your actual venture. All right? So I would say do both, okay? But do this so that you can pick up the skills, so that you don't focus on the venture per se, but you automatically start focusing on the skills that you need to pick. So I'm sure all of you would have gone ahead and picked up at least one of these 4 ventures to work upon. All right, these are 4 different problems that are mentioned there. One is to do with bicycles. One is to do with losing, hostel room keys. One is to do with, grooming in terms of, students of engineering. Okay, and one is to do with, supplies. Okay, the dearth of supplies and accessibility to supplies in your campus. So, Chandan, would you have a poll in terms of how many have selected which ones or something like that?
Yes, Paco. I will just share my screen if you may allow.
Yeah, please go ahead. You can override, right?
Yeah, it will.
Yeah. So, guys, while all of this thing is happening, it's very important that, if you have any questions, you go ahead and ask. Okay. Now, there are 225 people, and I'm sure those numbers, will be there. But at the same time, okay, what's also important is that, it is important to keep in mind that you cannot, you will not be able to converse, right?
Yeah, guys. Yeah, people have started responding back. We can see people.
Yeah, Hiten, what would you like to know?
Sorry, my bad.
So then if you can keep that screen there so that people can still read through. The one with the project ideas.
Sure.
Yeah. So we have 149 people who've gone ahead and selected. Chandan, could you also highlight as to how people are supposed to respond to the poll? Because
yeah, there is a poll you must have seen on your screen. You might have got. You just need to choose either yes or no on your screen. There is the option.
Yeah. So, all right. So, Ishwar, while you've given it a thought, but pick up any one. It does not matter. It's not. It's a thought that you need to walk with. When you run the set, when you walk through the session. Okay. Sai Disha Jairam. Where is the poll? The poll is there on the screen. You see a button at the bottom which says poll. The poll is in progress. That's right.
Okay, so
it's just an example. So pick up whatever you want, but you run with it. So it's good. Can you explain project venture again? Yeah, absolutely. Zapowdi. Okay,
we
so
can
thing
end the
is
poll.
that these are the four different problems that are mentioned there. These are regular problems. There's nothing unique about them. You need to pick up one of them, all right, and run with it over the next time till first week of August. Then this workshop series is going to get over. You're going to run with that problem, and we're going to work and develop that problem into a solution, and use that as an example to incorporate the skills in yourself. So it's got nothing to do with whether you're going to live with it for the rest of your life or something like that. It's just a practice venture, but you need to have one if you have to move forward. So how to work into the problem? We'll get there, Ethan. Don't worry.
Okay, Pego, so we will end the poll right now.
Yeah, we can end the poll. 180 responses.
Yep.
That's okay. All right. Can we also select our own idea and practice the whole? You should do that in parallel. What I'm saying is that you don't only do, you need to do this as a part of the exercise, okay, but you should positively go ahead and do that. I will share some examples in terms of you're supposed to pick up one. Yeah, you're supposed to pick up one. In fact, I have gone ahead and used.
Peko, I'm just closing the poll right now.
Yeah, go ahead. I've actually gone ahead and said, do one need software? Okay. You don't need any software. You just need your phone or your laptop or your tablet to go ahead and run the venture. You don't need any software. Don't worry. Okay. So let's just move forward. Is that okay? So now what we have is. So Chandan, could you tell me out of 180 people, how many have gone ahead and actually selected?
Yes. So around 123 have out of 184 responded. 123 have selected, and 61 they have not yet selected as of now. So around 67% people, they have already selected one option.
Very good. Great going, guys. For all the other people and those who have not even polled, please go ahead and pick up your ventures. It will help you incorporate your skill. Now, if you think that you have your own venture which you need to also work on as such, please go ahead and do both of them in parallel. And please don't tell me that you're strapped for time and that you will not be able to do both of them. I know how hard you can work. I know how hard you work, and I've been there, done that. So let's just do it. Okay. So just keep that in mind. All right, let's move forward. And who is Vishak Agarwal? This gentleman, I think he's facing some problem because, he keeps waiting in the waiting room. All right. I just hope his problem gets resolved.
I have admitted. We will speak to him, Paco, don't worry.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. So your project ventures are done. Okay. Now what we're getting into is what we will cover and what we will cover quickly. You will see that how we go ahead and handle all of these questions in a very smooth and succinct manner. So what we are going to look at is how do I spot opportunities? Because that's something, some of you may not have an opportunity that you're working with or an idea that you're working with. So how is it done? And it's very simple, by the way. All right, I'm going to share that with you. You may actually see that, okay, if it's that simple, why did we see it? Or is it? You will see how simple it is. How do I understand more about those being impacted? So if there's an opportunity, there's an idea that you're going to work on. Okay. How do I understand more about those people which the idea impacts? All right, or the problem is being faced by some people, and how do I know more about that? How do I understand the problem better? I need to understand the problem better. So we will look at that. We will look at how do we spot opportunities and the problem and knowing the problem better together. And we're going to keep it a little light today, but just to get you into the groove. Okay. Now, just to let you know. Okay. So you see this. Journey ahead. So we are in session 1, which is starting on the right foot. How to find a problem worth solving. You've got session 2, which happens the same time next week, which is about putting your customers first, how to validate your problem with them, because if you've got a problem, they need to validate it. Then with that validated idea, how do we go ahead and work towards, an idea and a proposed solution pitch. But in between this, now that you've got the idea and you know what kind of customers that you're going to deal with, what's the value proposition that you're going to work around, all right, we will have something called an idea pitch submission. Okay. And Chandan, I want you to make a note of the fact that idea pitch submission and the venture pitch submission, all right, these are two things that at the end of the session, you're going to take it up once again, just to share with everyone as to what the expectations are. But you will, having attended the first two sessions, you will go through an idea pitch submission, all right, and during that, you will pitch your ideas. Okay, so which ideas will you pitch? Okay, what you're going to work upon, you're going to come to that. So after that, we are going to, after that idea pitch, session that we have, okay, then we go to session 3. And but before session 3, we have a Mentor Friday, which is a calendared event. It's a one-on-one mentoring that you will get. It will happen on a Friday, okay, wherein we are essentially going to talk, if you want mentoring on your own ventures, we're going to handle that, okay? We're going to help you with till whatever has happened till now in the class, we will go ahead and handle that. Then you have your session 3, which is about refining your vision in terms of the strategies for developing and refining your business ideas. So we will basically get into, what is the kind of business model canvas that you're going to do. We're going to use a lean canvas, how we're going to work around that. And we're going to use these 4 examples, all right, to run with it. But while that is happening, you also create the business model canvas for your own idea in case you're working on an idea. Similarly, in the earlier, session, while you're going to work on value proposition canvas, there'll be a session on value proposition canvas, which is, session 2 itself. Essentially, this is the next session. So you will work on the value proposition canvas, not just for the project that you've picked up, but also you should actually positively do it for your own venture. Okay. So you will do session 3. And once you do session 3, there'll be again a Mentor Friday, all right, which will be, and before that Mentor Friday, you'll have a venture pitch section. Okay. So once you go ahead and do the value proposition and the business model and all that, you will go ahead and make your first pitch with regards to your venture, which is to say that, all right, how does your business plan look like, business model look like? Okay. Once you go ahead and do that, we will again have a Mentor Friday, basically to go ahead and give you more and more inputs. So during all of this exercise, you will get ready with your business model, with your value proposition, with your customer persona, with your problem, having gone into details. Okay, I'm going to share a video right now, very short video, is going to give you an input in terms of the approach that we take, which is the customer-centric approach. All right, so hold on there.
Hi, I'm sure your mind would be full of ideas that you want to go out and explore and build products and services and take them to customers and obviously make a lot of money and fame for yourself, right? That is why you are here. In the next few sessions, we are going to walk you through a process which will help you turn your dream ideas into reality. And how will we do this? We will use something called as a customer-centric approach, okay, towards enterprising. In this series of discussions that we have, we'll help you identify potential customers, we'll help you identify what are the problems that your potential customer is facing, how do I build a product and service around it, how do I go out and pitch this idea and turn my dream idea into reality.
All right, so that's very important that you see the video. But there are 2 things about this video. Okay, number one is that we will have such videos throughout the session. So while I'm going to facilitate the session for you, these videos are there, short videos are there to also explain to you, all right, the various concepts and the application of these concepts. This is my colleague Raj Bhatt. Raj and I have worked together on this, on creating this program, along with my other colleagues, Aarti, and Rashmita, and with Chandan, who's the other person you've been hearing. Okay, he's been behind the scenes to package the entire thing together. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to have this what is known as jugalbandi, एक साथ काम करना और किस तरीके से हम दो लोग मिलके एक सेशन चला सकते हैं. एक video recorded रहेगा, one will be video recorded, and the other one will be me, who will be doing a live facilitation. And then also talked about certification. All right, so when we talk about certification, it's more like a certificate, which is there's an idea pitch certificate and a venture pitch certificate. Okay, which essentially means that you need to attend the first two sessions, that is this one and the next one. All right, and then you need to submit your idea pitch on the platform. Okay, so Chandan is going to take some time to explain to you which platform, how do you go to the platform, how do you make the pitch there. And on the idea pitch day, you're going to pitch your idea. Okay, so that is about idea pitch certification. The venture pitch certification happens right at the end. When you have attended all the 6 sessions, including the pitch sessions, submitted your venture pitch on the platform, and you pitched your venture on the venture pitch day. Okay, so attending the session, submitting the pitch, presenting the pitch will give you idea pitch certification. Similarly, attending the 6 sessions, submitting your pitch, and presenting your pitch on the venture pitch day gives you a venture pitch certification. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. I'm sure you've gone ahead and taken pictures or screenshots just to keep this, so that you can keep referring to this. Okay, so that's the certification component. All right. So if you have to make most of this program, whatever said and done, you cannot let your curiosity get hampered. You need to attend all the sessions. I'm going to be there, and if you at any point of time find it boring or something like that, just put it up on the chat, and in the next session I will go ahead and see what can I do differently to ensure that we can keep you engaged. Okay, so attend all sessions. It's important. You ask questions. Okay, you put it up on the chat. You may not be getting a response immediately, but I've requested my colleague Chandan to moderate the chat so that if there are any questions which he feels will not get answered later on, then he will remind me to answer that. Or if it's out of the scope, all right, then we will keep it aside. And if it's going to be answered, then anyways it'll get answered. We will respond on the chat itself. Okay, so ask questions, participate. Without participating, you will, and participation in an environment like this where it's a webinar, okay, you will have to do it by chat. All right, and there'll be some exercises that will be given to you. Go ahead and do that. You want to form teams and do the work together? Go ahead and do that. Okay, but complete your post-session work. That's important. We've not kept some extremely major stuff. We've actually designed the post-session work in such a way that we've actually done it, and I have done it myself. All right, and I have done it, and I have used it to actually build a venture that I'm launching on, hopefully, between the 15th and the 31st of July. Okay, so these are not only time tested, but they have been recently tested by me as late as even now. Okay, seek help, because without help, don't you think that even Superman became Superman? All right, so seek help. So if you want to make the most of the program, please keep these 5 things in mind. And this is not rocket science. Okay, this does not even require any other logical approach. You just need to follow your heart. That's about it. Okay, so
Peko, one second. I just want to add what you just mentioned regarding asking a questions. Zoom, we have one chat option, also question and answer section, Q&A sections. Put your questions over there. We will take it up because it becomes easier to address your questions if you put it on the Q&A sections instead of chat. Thank you.
All right. So as I told you that this whole program is about examples. Okay. So Raj, in his videos, will be running with one chain of an example. I will be sharing with you, okay, an example from my own life. Okay, you will be working with those one of those 4 project ideas and running along. Okay, so we'll have enough of projects and ideas from different walks different phases, different types, all right, which we will be using to incorporate the learning. Okay, so that is one. And I'm also going to use the example of a venture which is a very large venture right now. Okay, I'm going to use their example without telling you the name of the venture, which you will figure it out sometime or not, sometime or not. Without telling the name of the venture, I will be using their example. I've changed the name, we've changed the locations and all references to real life, but we've kept the core as the same. And as we go, you will take decisions, basis the inputs that will be presented in front of you. Okay. So as you take decisions, one decision will put you onto a specific path to follow. If you take another decision, it will take another path. Okay. Now the question is, which path do you feel is right? You will take that. By the end of the exercise, we may actually go ahead and find that the decisions that you took vis-a-vis the decisions the actual, the entrepreneurs took was different, which is okay. You know why? Because their thought processes, their alignment to the problem, their circumstances and environment, all of that basically motivated them to take one line of decisions. But for you, it may be different. And that's in real life. In real life as well, you may see the same problem or see the same idea or opportunity, but the decisions that you take will go in different ways. And that depends upon a whole lot of factors. So there's nothing right or wrong about it. Okay? So that's what is important. And you got to keep that in mind. So in this case that we talk about, we have two colleagues, a boy and a girl, okay? And we've changed their names and we're calling them Ria and Arav, all right? And just read through, okay? So Ria is 22 years old, graduate student, science student from Bangalore, completed her undergraduate in biology, creativity, attention to detail, ability to connect with people are, that's her persona. And then you've got Arav. Arav is Arav Patel. All right, he's a 25-year-old working professional. Lucknow se hai janab. All right, he's from Lucknow. अपना undergraduate degree complete किए हैं engineering में और reputable university से अपना MBA किया है. Has done his MBA from a reputable university after having completed his undergraduate degree in engineering. All right, and they were neighbors, when they were growing up. So they've become good friends ever since. All right, so that is their idea. That is not their idea. That is their persona. And you need to keep that persona in mind. It's very similar to the kind of persona that you have. Now, I've got their experiences written. It's a verbose text component, but read through it very quickly while I will, do some speed reading around it. Ria is an avid business beauty enthusiast, keeps on trying different things, follows international, trends. She's always found it challenging to access authentic, eco-friendly, high-quality beauty products in the market that she's been in. Okay, Lucknow mein thi, sab milta nahi tha. All right, even in Bangalore, she started in college. All right, she didn't get everything, right in the market that she was in. Similar issues unhone notice kiya, that was there with other people in her friends and family circle. That same problem was there. Unreliable resources, and all of that. Frustrated with the lack of organized retail option. Now you will say that of course there is a Lacpay store or there is a Mac store. Yesterday I went to Mac, by the way. All right, no, wonderful. Not just now after having been married for 25 years, but even when I was not married. Wonderful. All right, so there's an issue with regards to pricing. There's an issue with regards to access. How many of them can get into a mall just to go ahead and buy? Pay $60 a year, parking, go there. You buy something, the mall experience is created such, you buy something for $1,000, you end up spending another $2,000. All right, so no. So this is all that she was going through, user-friendly shopping experience was not available, proper advice was not available, products, people do go ahead and suggest, but they can only suggest to that extent. So these are the experiences that she had, and she shared those and motivated by her own experience and the shared challenges of those around her, Ria felt inspired to create a solution that would cater to the needs of Indian beauty enthusiasts. So you would say that, she looked at a problem that was there, but that does not happen all the time. Okay. Arav, on the other hand, has been very curious about consumer behavior and market dynamics. So through his interactions with, friends, family, acquaintances, Arav started noticing a recurring theme regarding challenges faced by friends and family when it comes to finding grooming products. Okay. Now, the Indian grooming product industry for men specifically is hardly 6-7 years old. I mean, in the way that it is today. Did you have, specific hair oil to grow hair? And that's a grooming product. Yeah, it's been there, for 60, 70, 80 years. Okay. But you look at M caffeine, and by the way, M caffeine was, they actually, I think first couple of rounds of mentoring was done by me, and fantastic products, by the way, and without even telling my wife and my son, they both are using some of their products, all right, may not be all their product that fits into their persona. So our man Arav out here, intrigued by these conversations and his own observations, he conducted further research and analysis on the grooming market in India, discovered that there were gaps in consumer demand, all right, and motivated by their experiences around them, all right, was inspired to create a solution. So this is Ria and Arav, okay? So what has been your experience? What has been your experience with regards to grooming? The problem that they have mentioned. Very quickly put it up on the chat. All right, what has been your experience with regards to skin care products, hair care products, cosmetics, eco-friendly products, grooming products? Okay, if you had an experience, great. If you've not had an experience, absolutely okay. All right, I don't use at all. Very good. Authenticity, not really, no experience. Okay, all right.
Quite interesting responses, Paco.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Expensive.
Allergy issues, chemicals.
Yeah, good.
Pricing and quality. Okay. Not being reliable. Okay. Doesn't cater to people. Okay. Okay, Paco, there's organic ones hard to find and expensive. There's a response.
Good. All right, so good. So we have a lot of responses, all right, that are there. And yeah, I know, yeah, won't work, this, that, yeah. So there's a whole lot of problems that they've gone ahead and, you yourself have experienced. So it's not about the experience that just you had. Now look at it this way. There are so many people on the poll out here who are putting it up on chat. Now, all of them have had either no experience and therefore no comment, or they've had some experience, may not be first-hand experience, maybe second-hand experience. So are there issues? Yes, there are issues. And that is what, Arav and Ria would have gone ahead and tried. Okay. So what they did was, all right, in their case, they basically clubbed their observations into 3 buckets. Women, all right, discerning about beauty, skincare, they have their challenges finding products, all right, for themselves. Then you have a whole lot of young people influenced by social media platforms like Instagram and all of that. Now, there could be a difference. Women may be influenced more, men may be influenced a little lesser, but I'm not going to create any kind of, sort of a line there. I'm not going to create that line. I would say that young people, right, irrespective of their, orientation and gender or whatsoever, some of them get impacted by Instagram and by other platforms and by influencers, and some don't. So those who get impacted and those who, would like to follow the latest grooming and beauty trends, they would have faced problems. So they have figured out women, young people, and young professionals. This is different. This is not the regular women. This is both men and women, young professionals going to offices, all right, who need a well-groomed appearance, okay, and they also were finding it difficult to find stuff. Okay, so these were the problems that they went ahead and noticed. Okay, finally they went ahead and wrote out that finding high-quality, eco-friendly beauty and wellness products is a hassle. The need to search multiple stores and websites, making shopping time consuming and frustrating. And the disjointed and inconvenient shopping experience makes it hard to quickly find and buy the desired item. So this is the problem that they finally wrote down. My question to you, therefore, and you should go ahead and pick out your phone and try to scan this code, all right, and go to mentimeter.com. And there's a question there which says, what could be the top reasons for this disjointed and inconvenient shopping experience? There are some responses mentioned there. You need to go ahead and, rate the responses. And let me try to get that screen so that, yeah, you could go to menti.com and use this code as well. And then you have these choices. You have to go ahead and rate them. So go ahead and rate them while, I take a breather. And we'll stop the Mentimeter poll in exactly 60 seconds.
You have to keluar.
Just about 50 people have responded. Guys, go ahead and respond.
Okay. Paco, we may start the session. I mean, we may stop.
Yeah, let's just start with it. So
yeah,
we have about 140 responses. Okay.
So number one is highly fragmented option. Quality and price is second. Fifth is limited availability. Okay.
Yeah. So incidentally, if you see that, when we actually spoke to them, they were also talking about the fact that how highly fragmented with the market is, all right, with choices that are confusing, okay, and quality obviously is a concern, okay, and when we went ahead and did that, we found, so they went ahead also, looked at these same root causes, and that is why we wanted your opinion on what you felt is the more important one. So yes, what they went ahead and marked out also was the fact that it is a highly fragmented market with choices that are confusing. Okay? So that's important. That's something that we move forward with. So where do startup ideas come from? Okay. So while you're talking about this, let me give a very quick anecdote. In my case, what happened was I was running this session about 2 months back when I went ahead and said that let me start working on an idea, and that idea was about that same entrepreneur, which that I had met actually 2 months back. Actually, he bought my bike. Yeah, I had a bike. So he bought my Java, and while he was doing that, while that transaction was happening, we came to know each other more and more, and we said that okay, probably we have some common interests because he was an ice cream manufacturer. All right, so he was retailing ice cream as well, and I said, all right, let me go ahead and try to understand more and more. And when this session was running, I went ahead and started thinking about how we can go ahead and help him become better, all right, in terms of his business idea. All right. So I remember I conducted this first session, all right, 2 months back and two and a half months back. All right. And after the session, I stayed awake till about 2 o'clock in the night, trying to figure out, how we can go ahead and help him. Somewhere in the middle of the night, and I don't know when, the idea very quickly moved from trying to help him to say, how can we use this as an opportunity to, really go up the value chain and provide a superior product. So what I'm saying is, where do startup ideas come from? It comes from, it comes from the whole idea about, being open to, listening to different kind of ideas, listening to people, doing brainstorm. What do you see on the screen?
Guys, please put it on your chat. What do you see on the screen right now? Spot the opportunity, whatever that comes to your mind looking at this picture. Okay, trash management. To manage the cows, save the cow, recycling trash, efficient garbage management, animal shelter, cow shelter, online discussion. Okay, feed cows, proper disposal of waste, pollution management, recycling, better cow shelter, dairy business. Okay, cow cannot eat.
All right, good. So let me stop out here. So yeah, you can see the opportunity. All right, it's a matter of, you remember that story about the elephant, right? So there are blind people, who are holding on to various parts of the elephant, and they're essentially trying to figure out what part it is. So similarly, when you look at a picture like this, you wonder, you start looking at it from your own perspective. All right. So we, me and my wife, whenever we go out, all right, we don't get bored. You know why? Because we're looking at things around, and we're always discussing, what is the opportunity that we see. In a similar kind of picture that we saw, all right, we actually went ahead and started thinking about it and built a venture around it, which is being run by 2 of my friends around vermicomposting. Okay. So it's a matter of not just what is in front of you, but what do you really, really see there. Okay. So that's very important. And so spotting the opportunity is important. And thereafter, all right, brainstorm. Brainstorming does not only mean that you brainstorm with other people. Brainstorming is also about what happens in your own mind. That is brainstorming. So don't judge as wild ideas that could be there, and you saw some of these wild ideas in your chat box as well. If you have an idea, and if you don't have an idea, if you get an idea from someone else's idea, so do that, build on others' idea, but stay focused on the topic. Don't go all over, right? Be visual, have one conversation at a time. Don't stop anyone. Don't stop that idea in your mind. whatever I'm saying is not about just brainstorming in front of amongst other people, but it's also brainstorming in your mind. All right? Go for quantity. Don't start judging. And those are very important because as you start doing that brainstorming, whether in your own mind, with your own self, or with others, that is where the ideas will come from. I was thinking about helping this entrepreneur become a better entrepreneur in terms of ice cream, which I have helped him, and he has actually started another store. But it has also given me another idea, and I am working with that idea. All right, but that could only happen if I was not judgmental, whether I will be doing it or not, wanting to do it or not, who will do it, and all of this. So rules of brainstorming need to be kept in mind if you really want to figure that out. Okay? So that's very important. So the question is, like similarly, you look at Practo, you look at Uber, you look at, Beyond Meat and Zeroda. Okay, so Practo, they looked at hard to find reliable doctors, difficult to book time with them. That was the problem that they were trying to solve. Okay, you look at Uber. Okay, it's convenient. It's inconvenient to find a black car or cab quickly, service the city. In fact, in case of Practo, what they did, they had an online app that provides easy access to doctors. We know that, right? We know Practo. Similarly, for Uber, what they did, they went ahead and said that, you can hail a car by pressing a button on your phone. That was the original, MVP that they did. What is Beyond Meat? Beyond Meat is something, the problem that they were trying to solve, all right, was that people who care about animal welfare and sustainability feel guilty while having meat. Okay, so they went ahead and actually consumed plant-based meat substitute as an alternative to traditional animal-based meat. And by the way, that's not something new. That's not something new. It's not something being seen for the first time. If you go to the eastern part of the country, in Orissa, in West Bengal, in Bihar, in Assam, all that, they will use yam to make products, to make curries which will taste like meat. They're not meat, right? So, but it's not new. It's that sometimes it is not just about being innovative and being new. Okay, sometimes you will have the same problem that you recognize and you start working. Then Zeroda, we all know Zeroda, right? Now, when it comes to Zeroda, it's inconvenient for individuals to access and trade in financial markets due to various barriers that are there. So what they did was they went ahead and reduced the barriers to entry and democratizing the access to financial markets. So that's what they did. Okay, so ideas are there. People are trying to solve them, but you need to keep your eyes and ears open. All right. So therefore, what should we do next? Okay, what do we do? So we will come to this, but and I would want my colleague Chandan to pick it up from here. All right, as he takes the next part of the session. But before he gets into that, let me tell you, while I got that idea middle of the night that, this is something that we're going to work upon, all right, with regards to the ice creams, what actually went ahead and happened was that as I started working more towards it, I tried to figure out that, hey, everyone has an ice cream parlor. So why would anyone come to me? Right? Why would anyone come to me? So when I started working more towards that, I figured that the whole idea was not about just having ice creams. But I realized that when you go to an ice cream parlor, not everyone has the same, wants to have an ice cream. They want to do something else. So what do they go ahead and do? So they will go ahead and, so those who don't want to have an ice cream, they'll just keep quiet and stand there. So then I said that maybe the problem is about not having one or the other dessert for everyone in a family, because it's an impulse purchase, right? It's not a planned purchase. And then I started working on the fact that how can I have a very focused, dessert bar, which could go ahead and help provide a solution in terms of their sugary cravings, okay, or not so sugary cravings for everyone in the family, and an experience be created. All right. But to do that, what helped me to do that is to follow the problem statement canvas. All right. Wherein I went ahead and identified the problem. All right. How many times that problem is being seen or has been noticed. All right. Root causes, and hence who are the customers, users, what are the current solutions in the market, and what is my own alignment with it. All right. We will look into this, but what we will go ahead and do is we will look at the videos, all right, which goes ahead and explains these in a short and succinct manner. and then we will take it further from there to say that, okay, this is the canvas that you need to fill it up to be able to figure out, what is the actual problem that you are trying to solve. Okay. And Chandan, may I request you to take it up from here so that, we can continue with the session and get it over in the next 4 or 5 minutes. Chandan, you there?
Sure, Paco. Yep, sure. Paco, you are on mute if you are saying something.
So Chandan, can you take over the deck?
I will check over. I'll check
video.
over.
Yeah.
It's just to let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so what just Paco mentioned, all the opportunities, and we see the ideas and opportunities, but that ultimately boils down to finding out this opportunity, is it solving anybody's problem? And hence we need to identify the problem, but how do we go about it? And I saw a couple of chat sections that where do I get this particular problem statement canvas, and how is it available? Yes, answer is it is available, but I'll come to that. Let us first look into what this problem statement canvas is all about, and how each block of the problem is been explained. And as Paco described that we will be doing this Jugalbandi version, so we have our colleague and expert who is Raj Bhatt, who is explaining about the problem statement and the different elements of the problem statement canvas. We'll look into that and then go about it. And also we will look in how we need to fill this problem statement canvas. That also we are going to discuss. And later, once we complete this, I'm going to talk about where can you find this, how are you going to use it, where are you going to apply it, where do you need to submit. All these answers, I have questions, will be answered in a short while. Okay, now let me play this video. Do let me know if you are able to hear this sound, so that I will continue, so that I know that you guys are able to hear this sound of what is problem statement canvas. Just confirm on your chat if you are able to hear the voice, the sound. Yes. Okay. Okay. Great. Thanks.
Entrepreneurship is nothing but solving problems that are solvable, right? In a very basic sense, right? That is why it's very important for us in this customer-centric approach to first identify the customer and then identify the specific problem that the customer is facing. The day we are able to do that, then we can start thinking about what can we do? Can we build a product? Can we build a service? Can we do something to get this problem sorted out? And then, of course, comes the last question is, will the customer buy it? In this customer-centric approach, understanding the problem that your customer facing is very, very important. The problem statement canvas is a wonderful tool. Okay? The moment you have been able to identify who the customer is and what are the problems that your customer is facing, the problem statement canvas helps you put it threadbare, lets you analyze the problem in more detail. We are going to take you through the elements of the problem statement canvas. Help you use this for you to understand your customer and the problems that they are facing.
So, as explained by Raj, so problem statement canvas has the 6 elements, and each element that we are also has explained one by one. But here, what we are going to do is not each element, because there are connections between one a particular element to another. For example, to start with the problem and customer, because we discussed right now a while ago, while problem, we have identified the problem, that is the idea that comes in, but for whom? It is for the customer. So this two blocks are connected. So he is explaining in the next video where he is bringing the connected blocks together and explains the concept behind this particular two blocks. Okay, so let me play the explainer, the blocks, each block right now.
While filling up the problem statement canvas, I always advise that you look at these first two blocks that are there on your left hand side, which is the customer block and the problem block. In the customer block, try and identify the actual customer that is facing this problem. Okay, don't be very generic in your description that everybody faces the problem. Go into more details. What is the age of the customer? What is the economic background? What is the geographic residential part of where the customer resides? Where is the customer actually located? Who is telling you that this problem is existing? Please understand, you are going to start in a very smaller geographic area. So maybe this is your town, maybe this is your district in which you stay, that you may be identifying these customers. Don't try to make a global definition of everybody who's wanting to win. So be more specific. When we go down to what is called as understanding customers, I will tell you about a technique that you can use to exactly identify this customer. Having written down as much things as you know about a customer, move to the problem box. There be very specific as to what is it that this potential customer is telling you about the problem he or she is facing. Okay, that is very, very important. It's very important that it does not come from you what the problem is, but you're actually hearing what the customer is telling you about what the problem is, and please write it down in that box. Having written these two boxes, we will see how we can fill up the other four elements of this problem statement canvas.
Interesting. So what he's talking about is your customer and what the problem they're identifying, but the more important, identify from the customer what problem are they solving. That means it is when you identify the problem and you talk about idea, I have the idea, and right now I want to talk about whether I'm going to go ahead with this particular idea, but stop. First, identify whether your customer needs that. Is that the problem that your customer is looking for? That means you need to talk to your customer. You need to validate whether this is the problem or not. But how do we do that? Don't worry about it. We will go step by step how you need to talk to your customer. That will come in the next session. But remember, while filling the problem statement canvas, your customers and for whom this problem that you need to identify and see whether this is the real problem. But always remember, in the beginning itself, we have discussed this entire series, entrepreneurship and the entire business right now across it is customer centricity. If you lose focus on your customer and you think, I know this is my idea, then you are losing. Chances of you are losing or failing are much higher. So be always connected to your customer. So every time, the entire series of discussions that we are going to talk about, even if you're a pitch session, the first thing that we are going to talk about, whether are you connected with your customer, because that is the core essence of any business idea or opportunity that you see, and identify the problem which is you are going to talk about. Now let's go to the next bucket, next elements, which is frequency, and what are the root cause. These are the two are again connected. So let's look into this video.
problems occur at certain frequencies. There could be some problems that a customer might be facing daily. Okay, for example, commuting in a public transport, and that's a problem that he may have to face daily. Sometimes there are problems that can occur on a weekly basis. Okay, for example, not being able to find a good recreation park to do some workouts on the weekend. That is a problem now, that problem. And then there are some problems that are occurring monthly basis part of it. Like for example, I want to pay my bills, but I can't, figure out a better solution on how do I pay my bills. But this is a monthly thing that I occur. So always remember, you will have to understand that when you say there is a problem, the next question you should ask is, how frequent is this problem occurring? Okay, and that is very important, that when you fill up the frequency box, you very clearly say that this is my customer, this is the problem he's facing, and he's facing it at this frequency. Then you move to something called as root causes and impact. What are root causes? See, every problem, okay, will have certain root causes, right? Because the problem has occurred because either because of the presence of something or the absence of something, right? So that is what is causing the problem. For example, it's the presence of crowd that is causing the problem of commuting, right? Because a lot of crowd and you can't commute. Or sometimes there is no open space, or a lack of open space is causing the problem that you can't, find out a suitable place for your Sunday morning workouts in an open space, right? So you will have to get down to the root cause. What is actually causing this problem? And more importantly, what is the impact? What is it going to, how is it going to affect my potential customer if this problem is not solved? Now you see, you have moved the problem, not by only by defining the problem, but by understanding the frequency of the problem and then getting down to the root causes and its impact. Once you have done this, you have a much, much better understanding of the real problem your potential customer is facing.
Okay. So now we have covered 4 blocks, and there are last 2 blocks, which is what are the current solutions? Again, these solutions you have not built. This is just the assumptions. And most important, he's going to talk about that my alignment. Do you have the right kind of alignment, and what it is? Let's watch this video.
By this time, in the problem statement canvas, we have identified 4 blocks. We have identified who our customer is. We have had a broad definition of what the problem is. We have also looked at the frequency at which the problem occurs. And we have also said what are the root causes and what is the impact of this particular problem. Now is the time to figure out, because you have to understand one thing, that if the customer is facing a problem, sure, but he's also managing to live with this problem and has an alternative solution to it, right? For example, in the case of a heavy commute, to not be able to use public infrastructure, maybe he's using his own cycle or a motorcycle, something to commute part of it. Or in the case of not enough open space for recreation on Sunday, he's maybe driving to another town where he has an open space to do it. So there are alternatives that your customer is using. So when you look at this box called as current solutions, you have to figure out what is it that the customer is currently doing to get this problem solved. It is very important because that is potentially a competitor for your solution. Okay, what the customer is currently doing and what you are proposing as a solution to him could be competitive in nature. Now let us move to the last box, and here I think is a very important question that you have to ask yourself. The other 5 boxes, maybe your customers will tell you information, but the 6th box is something that you need to write. What is your personal alignment in being able to understand this customer solution? Why are you so interested? What makes you feel that you are the right person to solve this problem? Maybe this is the problem even you have faced. Maybe this is a problem somebody very close to your family has faced. So there is an emotional involvement or an emotional investment into this problem that you are trying to solve, and that is very important to let everyone know as to why is it very important. And I'll tell you why this thing needs to be answered right now at an appropriate time in the subsequent videos. But please spend some time Ask yourself this question: why am I so bothered about solving this problem? What is in it for me? What makes me special that I'll be able to do this?
Okay. So now we have completed the overall concept of what problem statement canvas is all about and what are the different elements of problem statement canvas. So now let me take a pause just within some seconds. Could you please tell me on your chat box, will you be able to fill this problem statement canvas now? Are you clear? Will you be able to do that? Yes, no, maybe? Yes, 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 yes. Okay, if you are able to do it, then do you need any more support, or is there any kind of doubt that you may have? If at all you have, then we have a solution to that. If at all you have, because this is the first step when you are putting this, I mean, you are using this particular template and you are going to fill this particular template. So in our next one, we'll give you, there are certain videos. I'm not going to play those videos, but I'll play just only one example. I'll play and I'll tell you where exactly you will find all other details. We are going to use one particular sutradhar or maybe one example for our better understanding throughout this series of discussions. And that example will come over here wherever after the explanation of these framework, how to fill those framework using that particular example. And that particular example, what it is, let's have a look at it. And then I will let you know where exactly you will find it. And you can go on and on and on till such time you are clear how to fill this particular framework. And similarly, other frameworks also when we move in our discussions. Okay. So this is the example. Why are we taking this example and what it is? Let's hear from Raj.
In this series of discussions that we are going to have on this topic of entrepreneurship, I'm sure we will discuss a lot of examples. Okay, very simple examples from real day lives and how entrepreneurs built upon those ideas to build great enterprises. I'm sure you are also going to be having some ideas of your own on where do you want to start off with. My favorite example is when I tell people is if you want to really understand entrepreneurship, I think one should understand the food business, right? I mean, restaurants, or now sometimes called as a QSR, the quick service restaurant format, you know, the typical KFCs and Burger Kings and all that, right? I mean, it's so easy, looks like, right? All that you have to do is have some great kitchen at the back end and you have customers, some great branding, and then you keep on serving it. So in India, we have cases like Faso's is there, or a Behro's Biryani is there. So food business looks very attractive. We all know that everybody gets hungry 4 times a day. Everybody wants to eat tasty food. Everybody wants to, you know, try different types of cuisines. And, you know, margins are great in a food business. So we all know that. And somewhere at the bottom of the heart, I think everybody feels that, you know, I could have been a food entrepreneur. And it's my favorite example over here. So if you will allow me, okay, I would try to bring a small context out over here so that it helps us in the discussions, that series of discussions that we're going to have. It's going to be purely a hypothetical scenario. Okay, you can just expand on it if you want, but let us stick with this example. So if you're here with me, let's get this started. My favorite example is, you know, my mom's pizza place. How does it sound? Sounds good, right? Because every mom makes great pizzas. My mom made great pizzas, and I'm sure your moms also make great pizza. So for every entrepreneur, it looks like, you know, this is something that I can easily do. You know, I can probably build the best pizzeria Okay, while somebody like a large chain like a Domino's or a Pizza Hut, is charging 300 rupees, my mom can make much better pizzas at that price, and I'm going to make bigger pizzas, right? I'm going to probably deliver these pizzas faster over. So we start with this very basic value proposition in our mind called as cheaper, better, faster. So we understand this concept that if I have to beat a competition, all that I need to do is build something which is cheaper. So if Domino's is selling it for 200, I want to sell it for 175. Deliver it, better. So if, Pizza Hut makes 3 types of pizzas, I'm going to make 20 types of pizzas. And if Domino's delivers in 30 minutes time, I'm sure, I can rush and deliver pizzas in 25 minutes time, right? And we believe very strongly that my mom makes great pizzas. I have got a great pricing. I have got a lot more varieties than most competitors have, and I can figure out a way of delivering it faster. I have a winner in hand. Okay, very simple, right? And if life was so simple, entrepreneurship would be the simplest thing in the world. But we also know somewhere that we may not have got everything right while starting this My Mom's Pizza Place. To discover more about why our simplistic thinking is not appropriate, okay, while launching a business, we will use this example throughout our discussions on what is My Mom's Pizza Place and how is it that something that we do can take us in a wrong direction, and what do we need to do so that we can get it right. So what is My Mom's Pizza Place? It's simple. It is a place which probably serves the best pizzas which your mom is making. So she's she's your mom, so definitely the pizza is great for you. Okay, but what is the value proposition that you are trying to say? I have a better pizza, cheaper one, delivered faster, and I have a winner in hand. Let us in the next series of discussion take this concept forward and see what are those critical elements that we need to really make a successful enterprise out of this.
Okay. So we will be using, Raj is going to talk about while filling different frameworks, because you will have in the beginning, Paco mentioned that we will have multiple different frameworks and templates that will be given so that it becomes easier for you to fill what are the basic and what are the critical elements that needs to be considered while working on your idea or working on the problem that you want to solve for your customer. Okay, and we will be using this particular example throughout so that you know how it has been evolved. So now I'm not going to play any other video related to it. I will let you know quickly where can you find it. You will find it on your platform that you have already registered. So I'll just take a quick look and then I'll come back. Come back over here. Now, so you have joined over here. You have session details. If you go to session details, you have simulation that we discussed about. I'm going to come over here. You can go through the simulations, go over it, and then look into how the simulations work over here. If you click, I'll come to that in a bit. But regarding the one that I just mentioned, this is the framework tutorials that we have created. And once you click on this particular link, there is a link on the session details under concept framework tutorials. It will take you to this particular page where the problem statement canvas we are discussing right now. It has the same video that we just saw as an explainer. If you go to Let's Start, you will find all the blocks, and every block you have, if you click over here, then you see the concept, step-by-step guide. Step-by-step guide is where you will be able to fill using the template. How do you fill the template? That example with the videos that you have seen, I'll just click here, and this is what It is already available. So you can go over here. It is already available. Then you have a checklist that what are the things that you must do and what are the mistakes that you should avoid. That checklist for you while you are filling this particular block or this particular template. And this is block by block. It is available. And the next step, what is the next step? How are you going to do? What are the stuff that it is expected from your end after you fill this particular block has been explained. So this is something that you will be able to go through. The tutorials will be helpful for you while you are filling the template. Now you just go to your home button and you are back to your problem statement canvas. And again, I am saying all these blocks, it is connected to the respective concept. Step-by-step guide has the what are the stuff that is connected, and along with the example using the mom's pizza and how it has been filled in. Okay. Any question? Now, I believe some of you have asked, where should we get all this information template? And also, guys, you will be able to download this particular template over here. If you see editable template, if you click, you will be able to download this editable template. It is available. Okay. Any question related to that? Let me see if there are any questions. You will get the session recording, but I'm talking about how to access. If you are in the platform, you will be able to access Srijal. So I believe you guys are on the platform right now. Now let's go back. Okay, we are going to discuss that enterprise and venture. Not now. Let me complete the last portion of our presentation. Okay, and then we will have a question answer session. And those who are interested, they can stay back and we can have a discussion. Okay, I'll talk about it. The other questions. Okay. Wadhwani app. Yes, you can go to Wadhwani app, and also you might have registered to the community.wfglobal.org. After you register, when you register, you might have come over there. So we are going to talk about in a while. Let me go back. Okay. Okay. So now quickly open your, take your phone, scan the QR code. Now that we have gone through the opportunity, how to identify the opportunity and what is the problem statement canvas, and you have seen we have the simulation, right? Ria and Arav, they were saying, guys, these are the problem statement we have identified. Now, what could be the possible solution to enhance the shopping experience and solve the challenges? Just scan the QR code. I am going to open the Mentimeter slide now so that you are to let me present. And yes, if you have not scanned the QR code, go to menti.com and use 255965505. Yes. Is it to compare choices, made in India, good quality products, low price? Is that the solutions? Okay, good. Workshops and seminars as what? That's a good point. But are you trying to, the solution could be, maybe you are going to create the awareness. That's also possible. Other responses, quick. Okay, is it to compare choices, workshop, influencers? Great, because the influencers, they are doing it, but influencers in the problem statement, they observed influencers, people follow, but unfortunately, these young people, they are not able to find what influencers are using. Those beauty products, they are not able to find. So good, great. High tech, easy to access, advertisement. Okay, fancy products, soft spoken and knowledge. Okay, solution. Okay, That's good. We have more than 100 right now, 177. Quick, another 20 seconds. Yes, that's good. Wow, this is amazing. The participation, guys, this is really, really great. And I love the way you are participating and responding. That's amazing. We have 178, 73, another 77. Great. We have achieved close to, more than 194. Like, some of us are also, maybe those who are in 195 answers. So all of us have given the answers. That's amazing. 199, 203. People are still typing. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Let's go back to our presentation to see what was, sorry, my bad. Okay, come back. Great. So we have got a number of solutions. And when we discussed, Paco also mentioned, and in the brainstorming, that is the first thing, that you will have a number of problems. Don't judge at this point of time. There is a process to evaluate, but right now, let the ideas come. What could be the solutions? I can do X, Y, Z. We need to do that. And how do we come to a conclusion that which idea we should go ahead? That probably we are going to talk about. But in this simulation, we are taking two scenarios. Okay, this Arav and Vishak, they were thinking about, and they need your support, that which one to go ahead, e-commerce platform or physical retail chain. So they both are discussing. Now tell us in the chat that, okay, now where should, okay, now the poll, let me open the poll. And now you answer which one is going to be that you are going to help Arav and Ria, whether it is e-commerce platform or retail chain, physical retail chain. Okay, so e-commerce platform is, majority of us are choosing e-commerce platform. It's amazing. So we have, okay, so we are clear that we will, okay. So based on your choice, guys, what we will do, we will go ahead and run during the session. In our next session onwards, we will talk about how this particular physical retail chain, because that is the maximum number of people you guys have opted for out of 123. You have answered out of 172. So close to around 70% and above, you have answered that you want to go e-commerce platform. So I'm just ending the poll right now. Okay, so we will go ahead with e-commerce platform, and we will discuss how this simulation, how they have gone to the e-commerce platform and how that is shaping up. Okay, and you have the options. I have just stopped this poll. Okay, now you have the option in the platform where I showed there is a simulation. There is also a link. You can go through the entire link. The simulation that you just talk about, you can play around. You can click e-commerce platform and see how it is moving out. Okay. Okay. So right now, what you just mentioned, we will go ahead with the option of online platform that we are going to talk about. So what do you need to do now? So what you need to, after this session, we are coming to the end of the session. Before next session, start filling the problem statement canvas for the project venture that you might have chosen. And again, there are a couple of questions that should we do all alone? Is it a standalone project, or can we do it with the teams? Entrepreneurship typically happens amazingly when you have a team. But remember, identify those who are going to add value to the venture creations. They could be your friends, but they need to have complementary skill sets. Suppose, for example, I am a techie and I can create a lot of e-commerce platform I can create, but one of my friend who also knows digital marketing. So that combination will help you to put down your thoughts and the solutions when you are talking about, when you are pitching in a much better way. And this is this is the first step to identify who could be your co-founders or who could be the founding team members when you're starting your venture. So ideally, you should do along with your friends or create a team you choose, because all of you are from predominantly same institute. So you choose your friends, and when you submit the pitch, I'll show you not now in the next session how you're going to submit the pitch. And in that particular pitch, you have the options to write down the name of your team and the member of your team. Suppose you're a 3-member team, you're 3 members, you are taking, you are working on your product, or 4-member team. Don't go beyond 5, because otherwise others will not do. Maximum you go 5, not beyond that. Okay. But you have the option of writing their name over there and then submit your pitch. But we are going to talk about it in our next session. And all the submissions will happen on our platform. And you have the option of resubmitting, refining once more. So minimum, you can do it maximum 2 times. So first you submit. If you feel that you need to change, you will do it. We are going to talk about in the next session. But right now, what you need to do to go to the pitch session, the first step is the problem statement canvas. So please choose your venture, do fill problem statement canvas and explore, same as the simulation that we're talking about on the platform, and also do some research on the probable customer segment. And here, when we're talking about customer segment for the simulation venture that you see, identify how people are doing it, because that will open up. If any of you, few of you have also asked that you are thinking of some of your own ideas. If you are working on this particular, that will give you more clarity in terms of how are you going to plan, do research for your own idea. This will help you. Okay, so please do it, because use this, apply it on your project venture and the practice venture. You do it after, trust me, after 3rd sessions is our pitch. After third session is our pitch, you will have more clarity in terms of, okay, this is the idea and we have submitted. Now, based on the pitch we did, maybe we need to fine tune something. Everything we thought it was amazing, but right now it may not be. Okay, so that is how it will boil down. Now, what your understanding, we are going to talk about, today we talk about the problem. And in the problem, something which is connected in the problem statement we have identified is the key, which is customer. So first, try to identify the project that you are, the venture that you are selecting. Who is your potential customer? What is the problem customer segment? Do some research, because it's really, really critical that everybody will not be your customer. You need to identify who is your customer. Raj mentioned in the video that don't write everybody will be my customer. So do that. Have we really understood them right? Try to do that research. And how do we validate our assumptions? Because all this that we are doing right now is assumptions. How do we do that? Just do some research. Then in our next session, we will discuss in detail about identify customer, validate what are their needs, and see whether we have thought of the right kind of solution which probably will fit to their requirement. Okay, so with that, thank you so much. Now I would open it for a question answer. I know it is late. We have exceeded around 20 more minutes. But if any of you are interested to ask any specific question, they may stay back. Others, you are free to leave right now. But if you have any questions, maybe if you want to talk, we can talk over here. Another 10 minutes, we can discuss that. Okay. How should we reach out to customers for asking? Okay, this we will discuss, Chinmay. You have asked me, directly, but Chinmay, we are going to talk about in our next session. But in the meantime, I want you please identify how do we reach out to customers, because that is most critical part. Creating a product or solutions is easy. Creating a web page, creating a app is easy, but how do you get those customers? That's something that is critical. I want you first to think about it, do some research, then I will answer, or we will answer in our next session for sure. But we want you to do some research on that. Find the canvas on the site, please help. You will get it, Aryan, after the session, you will get that. Sorry?
वो कान वाले बाबा
क्या हुआ?
कान की मशीन वाले बाबा
Okay, I believe, can you mute? Okay, just me. Okay, problem statement needs to be filled on the basis of given practice problems. Yes, Gurpreet, you are absolutely right. Okay. I understand. Okay, Ayush, you will get the recording of the session as well. So go through it because you joined late, as you mentioned. So you'll get that. So survey are options, but it may be costly. No, Chinmay, right now the days have gone that you need to do a lot of expensive and costly survey. No, you need to identify that. It is not. There are options that you need to do some kind of surveys. And what are those surveys that you please identify? Let's discuss in our next session, but you need to come up with the idea. Do some research. I'm sure you guys will get the answers that, boss, it is not. You don't have to spend a lot. I probably received another problem venture through an email. Instead, the lack of resources problem, we would schedule management problem. Nidhi, if you have received, I believe this is the same problem for out of 4. So yes, you can choose that problem, no problem. How can we form teams? Okay, so Pawan, I believe if you are from which institute, you and your team members are there, you form a team along with your friends. If you do not know any of them, then maybe in our next session we'll find out. And also you can do, sorry, my bad. You can interact in our platform and you can chat with others. That option is available. So let me go here. This is the community platform, and you have an option of chatting with your friends. Okay. So you have, if you click here, you see the members, you can directly reach out to them and form your team, because this is the first and foremost, another great quality of any entrepreneurship is to do network and talk. Because you just mentioned, how do we talk to the customers? Then we need to do that. Okay. So here you have an options that you need to please use the community platform to interact, talk to the others, and go through the different question that has been put by our team, Bhuvan and Kriti. They are putting a lot of effort to adding some value to it. Please use that option so that it will help. And this is all related to the venture startup ecosystem. Sorry, startup. How do you start? What are the thought process that you need to have? These are the extra stuff that is putting. Please please use this platform to interact with others and respond to the questions that has been put. Or if you want to interact with anybody, please come over here, identify members, and then you can interact with them. These are the number of members that you find. You can interact with them. Okay. Okay, now let me stop sharing my screen. See if I have, sir, what is the end term goal? Work on our idea. Yes, Amitesh, the end is you have chosen some idea and work on that idea, because whether you are starting today or you are starting after some time, or you are thinking maybe after 2-3 years, you are going to become a consultant. But the entrepreneurial mindset, if you know how to generate idea, if you know how to validate idea, that definitely is going to help you. So that is why the end result is to work on your idea. May or may not, you may or may not start now. We are not saying that everybody will start now, but some of us may start now. Like Paco mentioned, after the session itself, he has started in just three months time period. So you never know. Nivedita, that's a good question. How to align customer problem with the problem we are viewing? Talk to the customer, because that is only option that we need to validate whether that's a problem, or we are assuming that these are the assumptions. That's what I mentioned, that testing our assumptions. Right now, when we are looking at some problems or looking at or observing people, like the cow we saw, those are the assumptions. But we need to talk to, not to the cow, but talk to the people, those who are facing this problem, and then identify whether our assumptions are right or wrong. We are going to talk about in detail, but in the meantime, what I really want all of us, please put that effort to do some research on customer, how to talk to the customer, what are the approach. And some of us, if you have already spoken, because I know a couple of us have responded while registering that you have spoken to your customer. Maybe we can hear from them in our next session quickly, that how did they do that? Okay. Pranav, please check with your other friends, because unless you must have got the information from the platform, I just showed you, you must have, and Aditya has responded. Thank you, Aditya. What should be my main focus? Just Molly, this is a good question. I'll respond to you later. Okay, guys. So I believe we do not have any more questions right now. Maybe in our next sessions, we might have. Every sessions, we have typical 4 sessions, 4 check-in sessions, live sessions that is going to happen. All these 4 sessions, end of the sessions, around 20 minutes, we will be there. If any of us are interested to ask any questions and interact, then I'll enable the microphone and we can have a detailed discussions, so that if you can provide some input, you can work on the problem that you have chosen and proceed on your session. Okay, we'll do that. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for your patience. And we have already crossed 30 minutes. So thank you so much. We started a little bit of hiccups in the beginning, but I'm really happy that many of us are still in this session, but we'll wind up the session for today. See you next Thursday on the customer identification and what customers need. In the meantime, do some research, and see you on Thursday, same time. Till then, good night and have a good week and good weekend.